Hey, what's up guys and welcome back. First of all, nothing is cancelled, but there is something I want to tell you guys. I've not been home for some time now, yes. I'm currently visiting family, that is why I haven't posted on this channel in the past 2 days, I believe, yes. I've been really busy and I haven't gotten time to record at all, guys. I was already halfway done for part 3 of this, guys. So I'm just finishing up right here and giving it to you guys, but just know the others are still going on. They're not being cancelled. I just don't have the time. But I'll be back on it the moment I reach back home, which will be soon, guys. So here's part 3 of What If Naruto Was. The Reincarnation of Cid Kagenou from Eminence in Shadow, guys. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other What Ifs over in the other channels. So yeah, without further ado or wasting no more time, what do you say we begin this? Now, guys. So, the last time that we left off, breaking into his apartment was none other than Mina, and Karen as well. Mina was someone that he met not too long ago. Both her parents and her village were destroyed by a man, a warlord, that is what he called himself. But he was just a man with a lot of money. The thing was, the girl known as Mina loved befriending animals, and she befriended a wolf. Turns out that wolf was a scout that was sent from the Wolf clan to try and find a worthy summoner. And the night of the attack, he found Mina. She was about to die, but he brought her back towards the land of wolves. The boss wolf there tested her and saw the courage and the determination that she had. So he dubbed her their summoner. Mina had spent majority of her time training there. She believed that she was strong enough. She went against the orders of the wolf leaders, because she was so angry when she heard that the person that took everything away from her was right there, so close. So she went out. However, she failed. There was too much of them, majority of them being top class ninjas that were hired by the scum that took everything away from her. She was chained up as she was about to be killed until he arrived. Out of nowhere, he stepped in the guy's face that was about to strike her down. It was none other than Naruto. As he was not here for her though, at the time he had not known exactly who she was. He was here for other reasons, as he turned his wrath upon the warlord, who had no one at his aid. He was rather shocked as he called out for his people, but to his surprise no one came, absolutely no one, as he started to panic and plead. But Naruto was not here to hear what he had to say. He was just here for his life. He did not hesitate or wait to cut him down until Mina cried out, saying that he was hers. Naruto stepped towards her before slicing off her chains, as he allowed her to take him out. After all, Naruto was truly after what the man had in his possession. As he looked back down towards Mina, he saw something inside of her. Karen arrived in a moment later after she had dealt with all of the man's subordinates. As Naruto turned towards her, he told Karen that they were taking her along as well. And with that, the end of the flashback came. Since then, Mina had been a part of the group. Not just her though. There has been many others who had joined the Shadow Organization. As Karen was here to talk to Naruto about the development of their organization, they were also leaning into the land of snow. As Naruto had put Karen in charge while he was here having his own little life going on here. And whenever he praised her on a job well done, she was so happy. So with that, Harrison also had to go over the listings. It turns out that the guy that attacked Naruto was also dead as well. Him and Iruka. He had died in the hospital, which made no sense because his injuries did not show any sign of near death. There was no indication that his death was sudden. Something happened to him that the doctors couldn't even understand. However, there was more pressing matters to deal with, such as the students and their graduation, and what team they're going to be placed on. As he looked over Naruto and he had an idea as he saw the persons that will fill the gap. Time passed as the day finally came. However, Hinata was the one that was under the eye of scrutiny by her own father. Hayashi had sent Keiyo, her younger guardian, to watch over her. He had been there when she was younger to make sure that she was always safe, protecting her from the shadows no matter what. However, not even Keiyo could keep up with her. She was able to escape him. So he sent 3 others to see if Keiyo was just lacking. But it turns out that Hinata was also able to divert and also, well, escape them as well. Now that was pretty shocking. Now he knew that something was truly up and he wanted to figure out what exactly it was. However, he failed on every turn. Hinata had changed, even starting to dress more, well, her clothes were less baggy. She also walked with this new grace of confidence, like she was a completely different person than the one that she was just a few months ago. He had to find out what was going on. When she arrived towards the academy as Naruto was there, she greeted him as she usually did, with a happy smile. Naruto's eyes were focused though on the prospect teammates that he was looking forward to. He believed it would be Sakura Haruno, because he played the cards perfectly, and he saw something inside of her. However, she had to get rid of certain tendencies for it to happen. While that was going on, Kurenai was shocked, as Harrison let her in on what he was thinking over the past few years on Naruto, as she was able to see it. It turns out that Kurenai had been mentored by Inoichi Yamanaka, the mind expert of Konoha, as she was able to see the patterns. This child is not just smart, he's a genius, able to put things together, able to blend things in the tiniest way possible. He was showing off. He was hoping that someone would be able to catch on to his intellect and see if they were smart enough to handle it. This child was truly brilliant. She was astonished. She's never seen a child done something like this before. Just by the way he faked his grades, the certain twists and turns, the way he put in the effort and took out the effort. He was truly something, alright. As Harrison wanted her to be his Jonin sensei. When we skipped towards the academy, she came to pick them up. Team 7 was Sasuke, Kiba, and Shino, while Naruto was on Team 8 with Hinata and Sakura and himself, while Team 10 was the Inoshika-cho. So with that, they made their way to one of the classes. As they sat down, Kurenai was able to hear what the both girls had to say. Sakura was even able to say what she truly wanted because Sasuke was not here for her to act like an idiot majority of the time. Hinata wanted to change her clan for the better, as she had a dream as well. Kurenai was unable to hear what Naruto had to say because he did certain things that caused her mind to obsess about his actions and motives. She did not know if he was doing this on purpose, but the more she talked to him and the more she watched him, she knew that he was a mastermind in the making, and he was loving every moment of it, as Naruto realized that someone was catching on. So with that, they were dismissed as they were told about the test tomorrow. Getting back to the office, Inoichi was there waiting, as Inoichi was truly shocked to what he had saw. He never knew that someone like this was in the academy. This was beyond what he ever saw in a child before. This was not just smart. This was a mind that thought above every other thought. This was truly something magnificent. Later that night, Naruto was back in his getup as Shadow, as he was heading out. However, a different corner of the earth, something was growing, something was festering. It say that nature always balances itself out. On the night that Naruto Uzumaki was born in this world, on the night that he was reincarnated from Cid Kagenou, something else was brought in. Something dark, something powerful, a force that will be strong enough or might be strong enough to take him down. A force that had its own goal and would destroy anyone that gets in its way. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the play check of yourself. So let's begin this new episode. We begin this episode in a small village near the coast of Wayne Country, which was the capital of the Hidden Sand. The modern, small village was not affected by the massacre that just took place. That was the only word that could describe the scene that was currently being shown. 2 teams of Sand Shinobis were torn apart. 2 Jonins and 3 Genins, equal in the numbers up to 8, and they were decimated like it was nothing. However, it wasn't finished yet. Standing in the center of the massacre was a hooded figure. There was a hood over his head, shielding his face from the world. However, just by standing close to him, you could feel the dark, ominous presence that was leaking from him. His body was releasing strange vines as they stabbed into the shinobis. Slowly but surely, the bodies of the shinobis started to crunkle and crack. Whatever this monster was, it was sucking their chakra and their life force out together, completely sucking them dry until nothing was left. Once it was done, it chuckled darkly. Glowing red eyes could be seen in the darkness of the night as it walked across the ground. Still not enough, it said, giving off a chilling voice. As it looked up towards the moon, a grin was on its face, shrouded by the darkness of the hood. It slowly continued its journey. Despite its overall sense of being a monster, it was smart, knowing that taking on an entire village at the moment would not end in its favor. This thing right here was born a few years ago on October 10th, the same day that Naruto was born on. It seems like a real coincidence, but it wasn't. It was here for a purpose. It had a goal. It was alone, but it was many. This monster was powerful, vast, and it would not stop until it gained what it deserved. But it knew, as it extended its hand, which was grey, its nails were black claws, short and also deadly sharp. But even as it was, it knew it was not strong enough yet to achieve what it wanted. It needed more. As it walked, the very sandy ground underneath it seemed to somehow be getting tainted, as it simply disappeared within the night, on for its next meal. A few hours later, the ground opened up where the monster once was, only to reveal a creature. It was completely black, with yellow eyes. As it was looking over the area, it came across the bodies of the ninjas, well, the remains of their bodies, that is. It reached out its dark hand and placed it on the bone that simply broke apart. This creature was none other than Zetsu. As he looked around at the area, as he seemed to take in a breath, almost like he was swallowing, tasting the very air around it. It was here, he thought to himself, looking around. He seemed to also be searching for this monster. Whatever it was unique. Black Zetsu caught a trail of it not too long ago, which was a few months for him. Time did not mean anything to him because he was basically immortal. Yes, time did not have any control over him. He caught a sense of this creature wandering around. It reminded him of something from the past, but also completely different at the same time. He was not sure what it truly was. However, it was getting stronger, feeding on the chakra and life force of the humans. There was no telling if this monster had any limits. Black Zetsu was going to find it, as he needed to know its origin. A part of it he felt a long time ago, but there was also a part of it that was new, something that he's never felt in his entire lifetime of being on this planet. And he's been here for an extremely long time. With that, he sunk back into the ground, making his way. Time skip. At Konoha, Hiruzen Sarutobi sat in his office, paperwork on his table. However, he felt the shift in the breeze. That brought a smile to his face as he leaned back, ignoring the stack for a while. He pulled out his favorite pipe as he started to light up. It did not take too long for the person that entered to speak up. You know, those things are going to be the death of you. Everyone has to die someday. Better you go out doing something that you love, Hiruzen said. A bit cynical, wouldn't you say? The person asked. Not in the world that we live in, Hiruzen said, as he looked towards the individual who was none other than the only student that he could still put his trust in. The other two. The other two were a complicated subject right now. It was none other than Jiraiya, the Toad Sannin, legendary Toad Sage. Hiruzen spoke up as he took a puff out of his pipe. Before we start rambling about things that will take us hours to finish, let's talk about the professional business that you came here to discuss with me first. We can do that later, he said. Jiraiya nodded as he got serious. It's been a long time since he's been here. A very long time. However, he's brought some interesting news. As he looked up to face Hiruzen, do you remember the organization known as the Cleansers? Hiruzen leaned back. The Cleansers, he said. I haven't heard that name in a very long while. As Hiruzen dived into his thoughts, the Cleansers were an organization in the past that rose to great heights, but like many, they fall. They believed that it was their job to cleanse humanity of their wrongdoings. So they started to attack villages, attacking nations, attacking all sorts of people, believing that humanity was cursed and they would cleanse them. This led to ninjas becoming rather jumpy and starting feud with other nations because they thought they were along with the other nations, thinking that the cleansers were with Konoha or Kumo. The stone would attack. This was in the middle of cooling down time between wars. So yes, this brought up a lot of chaos. Eventually though, the members were sorted out and annihilated. Why do you bring them up? Hiruzen asked. I'm afraid another one is brewing. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow. For Jiraiya to inform him about the organization, they must be already big. However, he's not heard anything. Although, Jiraiya is their spy master though. So he figured that he got information in the secrecy. I've heard the name Shadow recently. Shadow? Shadow what exactly? That's it. That is all I was able to get, Shadow. This little organization has been causing mayhem with Kumo and the Hidden Stone. Why, Hiruzen asks. It turns out that there were some dealings that were done. However, this organization interrupted all of those dealings and missions as well. This is getting the leaders of those countries rather jumpy. From what I've been able to dig up, neither Kumo or the Stone has any idea on who the accomplice of this group is. But you know that it won't be long before allegations start to be thrown all around. And that might bring up something that we've been trying to prevent for the longest time now. Hiruzen frowned at that. There was always one problem after another. What else do you have on this organization? That's just it. Nothing. I've been trying my darnest, even my network. They're so secretive. We've got nothing on them so far. But I'm gonna continue doing some digging to find out what the hell is going on and try to prevent things from spiraling out of control. You do that, Hiruzen said. Anything else? Well, there has been some recent murders of shinobis. There has been a few from the Sand, a few from Kiri, and a few from Stone as well. Kumo and our village has not yet received any of these. Murders. Things like these are rather common, Hiruzen said. Not in the way that they are doing them. It seems like it's one person or a few people. Whoever these people are, they're able to sap their opponent, life force and chakra, reducing them to an empty husk. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow at that. So far no one has found out what this is or what is going on. But these villages has sent out respondents to find out what is going on. Whoever this person is, they seem to be traveling through. I don't believe it will take too long to find them. The Shadow Organization, on the other hand, they're more vast and large. You think that would make it easier to find them, but they're more secretive in hiding themselves. It's just one problem after another, huh? Hiruzen said. You're telling me, said Jiraiya, as he looked through the window. So, how's he doing? Hiruzen sighed as he was quiet for a while, causing Jiraiya to look towards him. Is something wrong? Well, it's just... He's a very complicated boy. What do you mean by that? Have a seat. He's probably out doing his examination test right now. However, have a seat and let me inform you about the mystery that is Naruto Uzumaki. Meanwhile that was going on, Naruto had his hands in his pockets as he looked at the notes that their sensei had left for them. After arriving on the field, their sensei was nowhere in sight until Hinata spotted a note. Welcome all of you, Hinata read. I'm sure you're wondering what is going on and what your test implies. So let me give you a rundown on what exactly it is. This group is designated to be a tracking team. However, it can also perform as an assault team as well, with the three of you having the basic areas lock in terms of long range, short range, and the frontal assault. Your first test of the day will be to find me within the forest. Use what is ever at your disposal to find me, and remember the forest is not a very safe place to be. The note ended abruptly, causing them to look towards one another before they turned their gaze towards Hinata. Understanding instantly, she activated her eyes. Byakugan. It took her 20 seconds. I found her. Sakura though had something on her mind. Something doesn't seem right, she said, as they turned towards her. Doesn't this seem a bit too easy for you guys? Yes, it does, Hinata said. Not to mention this part of the note, where she speaks about the forest. There must be traps inside, Sakura said. Exactly, said Hinata, as Naruto simply remained quiet, watching the scene unfold in front of him. Then we should just be very cautious. And besides, he spoke up, with your eyes, I'm sure that we will do fine. That brought a smile to her face as she heard him say that, causing Sakura to glance up towards him. She did not know this Naruto fellow much. She barely saw him at the academy, but he was always there. However, they were on a team together now. She should get to know him. Naruto is right, she said. So let's be careful. And with that, they ventured into the forest. He was right. As Hinata noticed right away, the mechanism came out, causing shurikens and kunais to rain down on them. But she already alerted her team as they jumped away. As Naruto jumped back, he noticed that the kunais and shurikens were not as sharp as they should be. His sensei was really cautious, but he figured that she would, given the fact that they just graduated from the academy. However, being too soft on someone does not mold them to be the perfect character that they should be. Naruto glanced towards Sakura as she landed, only to set off a trap. Hinata threw a kunai though without looking. As the log that was coming down towards Sakura, the wire was cut as it rolled away. Sakura blinked in shock, looking towards Hinata, who wasn't even looking. She just threw the kunai with her hand, and her head was faced towards Kurenai, still looking at her. She's still there, she hasn't moved. Let's get going. Sakura snapped as she looked up the ceiling looking at her. Yeah, she said, just thinking how cool that was as she made her way. Meanwhile, on the other side, Kurenai stood as she waited, as she thought about her conversation with the third and Inoichi. Inoichi confirmed her claims. Naruto was no normal child, as much as he seemed to be, but he was not. He was far from it. In fact, he was incredibly smart. Smarter than all the kids around him, perhaps the teachers as well. He's brought his grades and also his attendance and his fighting scores to a perfect level to mimic a motive that he wanted to see if anyone would catch on to. It was almost like he was testing them, having fun as he did so as well. It was ingenious. They've never seen someone so young do something like that. So right now she was the one here to watch him, so they can find out exactly what he was capable of. They tend to believe that he also was holding back tremendously. The thing was, it would be hard to just straight out ask him, because if they did, from what they've seen, he thought of this as a game. So if they were to ask him, they believe, for one, he would not answer correctly, and second, he thought of all of this to be a game, so he would not, in no sense of the word, continue if they brought it up. He would probably change his tactics. The only way to catch him is to catch him while he was doing it. He was looking forward to that, from what they could see. This child was truly impressive, but this could also be problematic in the long run. However, so far they saw no signs of him being against them in the slightest. He was just having fun. Something that a child would do, but also at the same time, his mindset was far from that of a child. Given who he is, it is expected that he would grow faster than any ordinary child. So with that, all they can do is to wait. She watched as the three Genins emerged from the forest, unfazed. As she watched Hinata deactivate her Byakugan, utilizing those eyes, along with the three of their quick thinking, it was easy for them, it seems. They all walked forward and stopped a few feet away from her. She smiled at them. It seems you've passed your first test, she said. As Sakura smiled at that. Yeah, we did, she said. So does this mean that we're a team now? Unfortunately not, said Kunai. There is one more thing that you have to do. And this will be the hardest one to beat, she said. She stepped forward and presented all of them with a ball. 3 green balls as she gave each of them one. They took it. Your goal is very simple. You are to bring these back through the forest, back to where you first read that note. Doing so, you will accomplish a mission. However, I will be coming after you and trying to take it away. Sakura blinked in shock. Hinata was the one to voice her question. But that's unfair, she said. Being a shinobi is unfair. You never know what is going to happen, Kunai said. Naruto did not say anything as she noticed. Although, Kunai said, I will give you a 5-minute head start. Given the fact that you took 20 minutes to get here. Not to mention, this time, the forest is going to be a lot more dangerous. Sakura looked towards her confused. But we disarmed the traps. Well, that is why it pays to have friends. They heard something within the forest. A hissing sound. Wait, are those snakes? Sakura asked, with a sense of dread. She really didn't like snakes. That is for you to find out. Now, go! She said, not giving them any more time. The 3 of them took off as they entered within the forest. The moment they did, someone leaped forward. Sakura was quick to pull kunais as she threw them toward the snakes that were coming down. Out of sheer fright, the person had released snakes upon them. However, the snakes twisted themselves around the weapons, and they came straight down. Hinata jumped in front of her as she knocked all of them away, her palms hitting them hard. The person landed in a crouch, and slowly got on her feet with a smile on her face. A fast one, aren't you? She said with a smirk. The woman stood there. She did not introduce herself, as she eyed all of them, releasing a bit of bloodlust. Sakura started to shake as the woman licked her lips. Hinata felt it dropping on her shoulders, but she kept her composure, causing the woman to raise her eyebrow as she turned her sights towards Naruto, who took a step back. That made her smirk. Well, well, she said. You did well on your first try. Let's see if you'll make it. She walked past them, walking in a rather suggestive way. However, neither of them took their eyes off her, seeing if she would attack again. Hinata's eyes went wide as she saw what was behind them. Move, she yelled. Sakura, who was hit by the bloodlust, unable to stomach it more than the others, was not able to move in time. Lucky enough, Hinata grabbed her and leaped out of the way. A snake came running through the area. That is when Kunai appeared on the branch. They blinked in shock. Sensei? But you said ninjas lie, Kunai said as she kicked Hinata away, who wasn't prepared. Sakura got up as she jumped back, only for her to see the ground cave in as an endless fall. That is all she saw as she screamed out. She fell. It was endless. She couldn't stop it, only for her to blink as she was now on the ground. Kunai was holding a ball in her hand. What just happened? What you should know is, at this moment, you are out. Sakura's eyes went wide as Kunai leaped off. As for Hinata, she was busy, as she was disarming several snakes that leaped on her when she was sent sailing by the kick. However, now she stood in the center of them all, as she wondered what happened to her teammates. Quickly activating her eyes, she saw Sakura. She quickly made her way towards her, searching for Naruto as she did so as well. Meanwhile, as Naruto was walking through the forest, looking around, Kunai landed in front of him. What do we have here? All alone, she said, as Naruto turned to face her. I thought we had 5 minutes. Shinobi's lie, she said. You should know that. Shinobi's lie and thief. Well, I guess I should. So what now? Are you going to try and take this? Said Naruto. She nodded her head. Well then, try your best. Kunai rushed forward. Unlike Sakura, she attacked Naruto straight out. A right hook. However, he ducked underneath it. Granted, she was lessening her speed tremendously to make sure that she didn't go overboard. She brought her knee up. However, he tilted his body. She lashed out and hit him in the shoulder. That one move caused him to stagger. She stomped on his feet, trapping him there as she hit him in the stomach twice, before pushing him back. He fell over, but he rolled away as he was holding on to his midsection as he picked himself up. He pulled out two shurikens and launched them. She disarmed the both of them by hooking her finger through one of the loops and knocking the other one away. She then tossed it back towards him. He jumped over it as she was now above him. Her leg was coming down, but he brought his hand up as she sent him sailing down towards the ground. He landed sternly on his feet. As she crashed down where he once stood, she burst out of the dust and hit him in the gut. Naruto toppled over as she kicked him right into the tree, causing him to collapse. As she stepped towards him, she noticed something. Naruto got up and leaped over her. The wires quickly wrapped her on her stomach and pinned her to the tree. She slightly turned her head to see another Naruto. A clone, she said, with a raised eyebrow. "I got you, Sensei," he said to her, still holding on to his stomach area. "Oh, I don't think so," she said, as her body burst into petals and swirled around him, as she placed him under a genjutsu that forced him to sleep. As his body collapsed down to the ground, Kurenai stood over him. He was good. Not as they expected, but otherwise. Not showing what he was truly capable of, he was really good, she thought to herself. However, this was normal for academy students at his level. Not to mention his incident with Mizuki, with the scroll, but still. He was better than she thought at showing that he was normal. Poof! She expected that. It was a clone. As a real Naruto had run off some time ago. That brought a smile to her face, even though he was not showing what he was truly capable of. Showing as standard skills that would fit his, well, aptitude at this time, was another game that he was playing. However, she flashed away. It did not take her too long to arrive. As she arrived before Hinata could reach, she picked up Sakura and teleported away with her, using her Shanshin. Hinata stood her ground as she looked around, as Naruto appeared beside her. She looked him up and down as he seemed relatively fine. "Did you fight Sensei?" she asked. "You can say that," said Naruto. "I believe it's time." "Time for what?" Hinata asked. "Time for her to use us against one another." As they made their way, they arrived towards the area to see her with Sakura there, her hands placed on Sakura's shoulder. "What are you doing, Sensei?" Hinata asked. "Oh, it's rather simple. I've tested all of you for a short period of time though, and Sakura was the only one that I was able to get this from." Sakura was about to say something, but Kurenai spoke above her. "That is why I'm giving you two out. Agree to leave Sakura behind, and I will take you two on as my students." "But," Sakura said. "No buts. I told you that if you don't have the ball, that you will not pass and you fail to keep your ball in the end. You were also subdued and left. Anything could have happened to you on a real mission. That is why. These two will be the ones graduating as long as they agreed to leave you behind. So what will you two say?" she asked. Sakura looked down, as she couldn't believe it. She failed. The moment she heard about this test, she knew there was a possibility, but she thought she would pass. Despite lacking in the physical area, she thought that she would at least pass. But once again, she proved to be a disappointment in that area, as she lowered her head. Naruto smirked to himself, barely visible to anyone else. Time to be the hero who sacrificed everything, he thought, as he started to play his inner monologue. He threw the ball down towards the ground. Kurenai looked up towards him. "I refuse," he said. "You what?" "I said I refuse." "Are you really going to refuse the opportunity to graduate and go back to the academy?" "Yes, because she's my teammate," said Naruto. "And if there's something that you don't do, you don't leave a man behind. Doesn't matter what. If we're leaving someone behind here, how will things be on a mission? Will we be asked to leave someone behind, our precious comrades? If that is the case, this ninja thing doesn't sound so good to me," he said. "So as I said, I refuse." Sakura was shocked as she looked up. She couldn't speak, she couldn't muster any words to say. Hinata looked towards her secret sensei. He always knew exactly what to say, despite him playing his little games and not showing how truly strong he was. However, he was right. After all, she held back majority of her strength and speed as well. Let no one know what you're truly capable of. Shock them with your future performance. Show them your great strength and show them what you can truly do. Shock them all and make them see who you truly are. He always had his inspiring speeches. I give up as well, Hinata said as she dropped her ball down to the ground. Kurenai looked towards all of them as Naruto folded his arms. Sakura had literal tears running out of her eyes, not expecting this. Expecting them to give up everything. No, she said. She couldn't do that. She couldn't weigh them down. Sensei is right. I'm not strong enough. I might be really smart, but I'm not physically strong enough to help you guys. It will be best if you guys go along. I don't want to hold you back. No one is born strong, said Naruto. Everyone has to train. As he stepped forward, as he knelt, and trust me, Sakura, he said, you have a lot of potential inside of you, and I'll help you bring it out. I promise. His words struck deep inside of her. Sakura has never been given a good compliment by the boys her age. Especially Sasuke, he always blew them off. So this was something that struck her deep. No words came to her lips. She was unable to speak. So if you're gonna fail one of us, Hinata said, as Naruto finished it, you better fail all of us. Kurenai looked down towards them with a smile. I guess you're right. You all pass, she said. Wait, pass? The word snapped Sakura back into focus as she looked up confused. If you would have abandoned her, I would have failed you all, Kurenai said to them. However, you did something that all Konoha shinobi should always do. It doesn't matter who it is. You should not leave a man behind. Help your comrades and your friends. That is the goal that we try to push. The will of fire. Teamwork. You ought to know that by now. And that is something that you can never abandon no matter what. She gave them a stern look. And that is why I'm proud to say that you are Team 8 from this day on. As she watches, they smile happily. However, this doesn't mean that things will be easy from now on, she said. In fact, it's gonna get a lot worse. As she gave them a look, ensuring that what she said was going to be correct. I'm going to train you all into the dirt until you're ready to face the outside world. I'm going to help you all achieve your goals and go beyond it, she said. I am your sensei, and I'll make sure that all of you are ready. And that's a promise I'm making to you today. And I don't break my promises, she said, a kind smile on her face. Now, you're all dismissed for the day. I'm going to report this to the Hokage. With that, she shunshin away, leaving them. Sakura picked herself up as she looked up towards the both of them. Thanks, guys, she said. She stuttered as Hinata placed a hand on her shoulder. It's alright. As she looked towards Naruto. However, said Naruto, in that moment you said that we were going to be held back by you. And I promise I'm going to help you reach that potential of yours. But it's going to be a bit different from what Sensei is going to do. Sakura was now confused. What do you mean? Do you truly want to get strong, Sakura? Do you truly want to break your limitations and go beyond them? To show the Kunoichi that you are meant to be? Sakura nodded her head. All of that is exactly what she wanted. Well then, I can help with that. She looked towards Hinata, who seemed to already know what was going on. At the office, Kurenai informed the Hokage of everything. Surprisingly though, Jiraiya of the Sun was there as well. Jiraiya also had a vested interest in the boy, as he took all of the information. She was dismissed not too long after as Jiraiya sat down, mulling over the information. As he wondered, maybe he's just like Minato. However, the part with him keeping all of that to himself. Seems we have a little mastermind on our hands. Or perhaps all of this is just a coincidence. I thought that at first, Hiruzen said. But the mind specialist and his apprentice. And after what I've seen, I doubt that it's a coincidence. You're right, said Jiraiya. But if that is the case, I wonder, what exactly can the boy do? What exactly is he hiding? All will be revealed soon enough. I trust that Kurna will be able to bring it out, Hiruzen said confidently, as Jiraiya simply nodded his head. Time skip, 2 months later. Sakura Haruna had just made it home. She was exhausted, both physically and mentally as well. She crashed down on her bed hard, as she wanted to pass out almost immediately, which she did. The last 2 months has not been easy for her. For one thing, Naruto told her that if he was going to help her, she could not tell their sensei about it. She was confused about that. He just told her that she could reveal her progress over time, as she gets stronger, but his name should not be brought up in anything. She promised that she would not say anything. He would help her get stronger than she could even imagine. She was curious about that, intent to find out how that was even possible, given that they were the same age as they went to the same academy. However, Hinata confirmed that he was no pushover. In fact, Naruto was extremely strong. Sakura was intrigued by that. However, she never knew that he was a slave driver. Since that began, he placed weighted seals on her. At first she was not even sure what that was, but the more stronger she got, the more heavier they got. Her body broke down. She was being pushed by her sensei to get stronger, and also she was being pushed by Naruto to get stronger. However, whenever her body reached a limit, Naruto healed her. She was rather shocked. It was not ordinary for someone to just heal someone like that. It did not take long. His hand had glow, a strange color, before he rested on her chest. The next thing she knew, her chakra refilled. Her body regained strength. It was amazing. However, by the end of the day, it all catch up to her though. At least she could go home and rest, and it start all over again. He gave her no break. It did not matter if it was day off or not. However, she appreciated it because it helped her reach where she was right now. She was a lot stronger than she was. Strangely enough though, something had been happening to her. Her and her team went on D-rank missions. That was all that they did for the past 2 months. The problem was, she saw Sasuke a couple of times when he and his team was gathering mission requests, and she no longer felt that urge to jump all over him. She kind of felt, well, it made her feel pathetic. She didn't know why. Maybe it was just now that she was realizing Sasuke was really, well, he ignored her a lot. Not to say that she hated him or anything, but it just felt so strange, she had thought. Really strange. That she no longer felt that urge to jump all over him and act all, well, like a fangirl. Not to mention her sensei was teaching her in genjutsu. Turns out that she had low chakra reserves, which was pretty bad, but it also helped her to control it a lot better. Their sensei taught them tree walking, and also the water walking exercise. Their sensei had focused on them growing more than taking them on missions, and it was really helping them in the long run. But she was glad with the mindset that she had right now. It felt a lot more better than the one that she previously had. The next morning, Hiruzen was in the mission office. As he was there, handing out missions with 2 Chunins at his side. The past 2 months has not been as successful as he thought. He thought that he would have gotten more information on Naruto. Granted, the boy did not pose a threat, but Hiruzen wanted to know everything and be prepared just in case something bad happened. Granted, all the signs so far did not depict Naruto as a bad person, but it just put him as a person that did not trust. Especially him, because he did not tell him a single thing about, well, his endeavors or how strong he actually was. And Hiruzen wanted the boy to actually trust him. He had recently sent Team 7 out on a mission, and it was their first C-rank mission out of the village. Team 8 has been doing tremendously well. He believed that it was time that they received their first C-rank mission. 2 months of non-stop D ranks, and they have completed each and every one of them in tip-top shape. So that is when the group entered into the office this morning. He greeted them with a smile. Iruka was to his left and another Chunin to his right. Hiruzen wanted to hear what Kurenai had to say first, because this could be a good opportunity to actually test Naruto. However, the first thing she said to him was what he was expecting. Hokage-sama, I believe that my team is ready for a C rank. Usually, Iruka would oppose. However, Team 7 had been sent on a C rank much earlier. This morning, so he had already tried to oppose, but Kakashi made it clear that this was his team and what he felt was the best, and Hiruzen agreed with him. But that did not say that he was not worried, as he looked towards Team 8. Hiruzen looked through the folders with a smile on his face as he pulled out something. I think this will do just well, he said. A C-rank mission of escorting Shibuki to his home village. Hiruzen called for the envoy to let him inside. Shibuki was a long, dark-haired individual with dark eyes. He was wearing a blue, fighting-style kimono with black pants and sandals. As he greeted all of them, his eyes glanced towards their pouches where their weapons lie, as Naruto could instantly tell that this person was a coward. Yes, the way he carried himself, the way he moved, he was a coward. Their job was to help him get back to his home, the waterfall village. Kurenai was asked to stay behind for talking with the Hokage, as he told her to watch out for Naruto on the mission. She already knew that. The chances of them being attacked were not zero. Bandits were always out there in the woods. However, this will be a good opportunity to see her team in full action. She had to say in the past 2 months she has been extremely proud. All of them had taken the initiative and grown, immensely so. She even had a private talk with Hayashi. It was a long time since she last spoke to the man, but this time he wanted to speak to her. He wanted to talk about Hinata and her growth, and he also brought up Naruto's name, leading Kurenai to believe that Naruto was helping Hinata on the down low. However, she was surprised that Hinata wouldn't have told her anything about that. The both of them were close. Closer than the other two, because she has been bringing her to the academy when she was younger than this. That just led her to believe the amount of trust that the girl has in Naruto was more than she could have expected or even thought. However, for now, all she could do was watch them and continue to watch them grow. It wasn't long before they took to the streets. There was small chatter between them as they talked. Turns out that Shibuki's father had just passed away, and now Shibuki was meant to be the leader of the waterfall village. Despite so young, it was a tradition thing, so it couldn't be argued against. His father passing away was a mysterious one. The waterfall village had something known as a hero's water that tend to give the drinker a boost in everything, physical capabilities and on. As the time passed by, they finally arrived towards the outer entrance of the village. The waterfall village entrance was a big secret, one of the few villages that had such a secret entrance, as they did not see anything in sight. Arriving there though, they saw multiple kids and also some adults. They were picking up trash that flew along the stream. It was a lot of it. Shibuki decided to hire Team 8 for another mission to help pick up the trash outside. Kurenai accepted the mission, stating that he should deliver the payment later, as Shibuki agreed. Team 8 didn't mind, and besides it was a mission, so they went around helping the children and the adults who were tremendously nice to them. As Naruto scouted out the area, he knew where the entrance was, of course. He's been to this area before. He's also been inside the village and saw this hero water that they talk about. The problem was the hero water shortened one's lifespan. That would not be a problem to him because of the fox, but still, he preferred to go on his own merit and get stronger on his own merit. After all, he had the will and the way, so he would not drink the hero water. As they were in the middle of picking up trash, there was a scream that could be heard. It was coming from a distance until they arrived. It was a child. She screamed for her mother, who was here picking up trash. Her mother wasted no time and rushed towards her at high speeds, grabbing her as the girl collapsed in her arm. The village was under attack. Shibuki snapped his gaze up from where he was, as they did not hear a single thing or felt anything. The entrance was really protected by many seals that prevent outsiders from feeling what was going on inside. Shibuki started to panic as they all looked towards him. The situation was becoming too much for him, as Kurenai had to slap him on the shoulder. asking if he required their assistance. Usually, he would have not given out the spot of entering the village. However, this was a problem, and he had no choice, so he led them toward the secret passageway. It was well hidden. As Kurenai and her team made their way inside, her eyes scanning the entire place to make sure they did not fall into a trap. Arriving inside, there was smoke and people running, some people on the ground unconscious. "They're going after the hero water," Shibuki shouted out. "So whoever this person is, they're perhaps a former Taki ninja," he said to them. "We have to stop them." Kurenai nodded for him to lead the way, as Shibuki could not believe that they were able to get inside and infiltrate his village like this, as he wondered who the hell it was, quickly making their way down. Kurenai and Shibuki came towards a section where they came to a stop, making the genins behind them stop as well. As Sakura glanced over as she saw movements down below, Kurenai waved through hand sign as both men were placed under a genjutsu. They both collapsed, their mind unable to handle the stress of what they were seeing. Shibuki jumped down below as he grabbed the both of them, pulling them away. He had the courage much to do that, as the others did not see. Kurenai arrived behind another one as he saw Shibuki. Seeing that he was jumping back up, she chopped him in the neck as she pulled his body away. They then went further inside as he arrived towards the outer section. Arriving there, they saw several people tied up and gagged. It was a good thing that they got the people outside to safety, as they saw the ninjas. They were wearing hidden rain headband. They were torturing the hostages, which they used to subdue the Taki shinobis. As Shibuki was starting to panic, sweat running down his face. Just like Naruto expected, he was a coward, afraid to engage. Kurenai saw the situation. This boy was too young to run a village. His mindset was not in it. He had not fully matured to take on such responsibility. She looked towards her team, seeing that these ninjas down there were not your average jonin or chunin to be strong enough to overwhelm her students. She had trained them well in the past 2 months, and it's time that they show it. "Alright," she said, "here's the plan." After explaining her plan to them, Kurenai headed off. 2 men were at the entrance as they looked down toward the tied up hostages. The one to the left turned towards the one to the right. "How long does it take to get a damn cup of water?" he asked his friend. "How the hell am I supposed to know that? I'm not the one retrieving it now, am I?" That is when a girl came out of the foliage, walking towards them. Her face was serious as she walked straight towards them. "Who are you?" The one on the left spoke up. The one on the right dragged for a dagger. "Whoever you are, you made a big mistake. You should have run away." He rushed forward, intending on stopping her, only for his dagger to pass right through her. However, that was his mistake, as Hinata was standing right in front of him now. Hinata jammed him in the hand as the dagger fell. She then proceeded to slam her palm into his feet, right into his ankle. He fell over as she slammed her hand into his gut. She then proceeded to slam both of her hands into his chest. He collapsed on the ground unconscious. As for the other one, he saw what was going on as he pulled 2 kunais. Only for Sakura to appear behind him, he spun and threw them. They both stabbed her. As he looked around for any other enemies, only 4, Sakura to burst in a shower of weapons. He screamed as his body was cut and tear all over. In the real world, he collapsed as Sakura had her hands locked together in the genjutsu form. Kurenai came back down with 2 others under her arm unconscious as she threw them down in the pile. "Where's Naruto?" she said. Upon saying that, an explosion could be heard as something was launched. It turns out that it was Naruto as he was sent skipping before he slammed into the trunk of the tree that was right next to them. The tree shook as Shibuki almost fell out. However, when he saw who it was that had thrown the child, his eyes widened. Suyen? He said with shock written all over his face. Suyen was a man with dark green hair that was spiked up that went down towards his shoulder blades. He had dark black eyes and a tan bandana around his head. Dressed in a dark black bodysuit, he walked with confidence as he had this grin on his face. "Finally you're here," he said. "I was starting to get worried that you wouldn't return, Shibuki." As Shibuki jumped down, fully revealing himself. You're behind this? Of course I am. I'm here to claim what is rightfully mine. It doesn't belong to you, Shibuki said. What's going on? Sakura asked, as she was in her fighting stance. This man here was my former sensei, who betrayed this village and was on the run ever since. And you dare come back here after what you did? After what I did, Suyin said as he spat with anger. Your father was the one that stopped me from achieving greatness. The hero water belongs to me. How dare he claimed it for himself? And now that you're the heir, you're the only one that can give me access. I would never, Shibuki said, stepping back. Oh, that's not a request. Remember, I was your former sensei. I know how to make you break, he said. Rushing through hand sign, he created a blade from pure water. Kurna was shocked towards his gravity over water manipulation. Now, he brought it up before slamming it down. A pool of water exploded from it, forcing all of them to jump back as it pushed them to the side. Suyin, seeing the opportunity, rushed forward through the center, running straight towards Shibuki. Shibuki ducked as he tried to get away, only for Suyin to crack a brutal kick in his ribs, throwing him back as he slammed into the tree. As he lay there, he started to reflect on how weak he was. Because of his cowardice, his father would have gave anything that he had to protect this village, and here he stand, backing down from a fight. He always doubted himself, believing that he was not ready, that he wasn't strong enough. No one is ready, no one is strong enough. You just have to take the initiative. Hey, he turned as he saw the kid from before with the blonde hair, who was pulling himself out of the tree. Aren't you the leader of this place? Why the hell are you letting him knock you around like that? He's strong, Shibuki said. He was my former sensei. So he taught you, huh? That's easy then. You know what he's capable of. So, fight back already and stop being a damn coward, said Naruto. That snapped Shibuki, mind into the game that he was now playing, realizing the situation that he was in, as that brought a smirk to Naruto's face. Everything was playing wonderfully. His little talk had put confidence back in this guy. He got back up as he went through the same hand signs and created a blade of water as well. Suyin, he yelled. I won't allow you to do this. He rushed forward as they clashed. As for the others, Suyin and friends were currently facing off against his team. As the first one was facing off against Hinata, he had a bandana that came over that connected to his headband. He had gotten help from the Hidden Rain, so all of them were from the Hidden Rain. He had hair covering his eye. His name was Kirasime. He looked towards Hinata with a snarl. Tuh, you weak little girl, do you actually believe that you can actually beat me? He said, a smirk on his face. Hinata dropped into her stance, ignoring the man. As he did not waste any time though, he rushed towards her. Water style. Water whip! Both of his hands converged with water as he whipped them towards her. Hinata dodged and twisted and turned as she evaded all of his strikes. She leaped and twisted. He came close but she dodged all of them. Stay still, he yelled, trying to get a whip on her, but she was able to counter-react to everything that he threw. He cancelled the water whip and created two water clones. They both leaped into the sky. As Hinata saw them coming towards her, however it was a trap. He went through hand sign to show that he also possessed lightning release. He slammed his hand on the ground, the current running through the water. Hinata was right in the center. Two water clones coming above, and the water electrified coming below. She had no choice. Hinata twisted both of her hands. A tetragram, she said. Revolving shield. She then started to rotate both of her hands at blinding speed as chakra built up, until it was like two blades spinning. Her attack tear right through the water clones, allowing her to jump in the air as she spun. She was like a gig of death as she tore through the sky. He was shocked as he jumped back. He was torn across the chest as blood splattered. Flipping back, he grabbed onto his chest. The wound was not fatal as Hinata collapsed down. onto her feet, her hands coming out of the motion as she dropped back in her stance. That technique that she used was not from the Hyuga library. It was actually something that she created on her own. It was still in the first stages, and she never wanted to use it until it was perfected because she intended to make it far more deadlier, but she had to use it in this situation rather than revealing some more of her deadlier tricks. But she intended that to be the most deadliest once she finished it. He was now truly angry that he got caught by her. Seeing that he was much older and his confidence and that she was a girl, it pissed him off. So he attacked her with his water whip again. Hinata evaded all of his strikes as she was dodging him. Despite having her weights on, he was strong, but he was not that strong. That is when she saw her opening. You left yourself wide open, and now it's over. She plunged 2 fingers into his stomach. She plunged 2 into his arm. She plunged 2 right into his thigh. Hinata started to assault him all over. Her hits coming in at blinded speeds before. She slammed both her hands into his chest. Blood exploded out of his mouth as he was sent sailing. He crashed into a tree head first, the giant tree that was inside. The water was below this. As the tree shook, his body collapsed face first, unconscious. As for Kurna, she was facing off against the second in command. This guy was the second in command when Suyin was not around. His name was Murasama. He had white hair with a blue mark across his nose, a sleeveless black shirt. He had 2 kunais in his hands that were covered by water, making them more deadly. As he was slashing at Kurnai, he was strong, but Kurnai was stronger. The only thing that was on her mind was her team, as she had to hurry up and finish this guy so she can get back there and help them as soon as possible. As for the last member that was here, it was a girl. Her name was Hisami. The problem was, she was ridiculously strong. She was as strong as the member that Kurenai was fighting, which was second in command. Well, he was a bit stronger, but she was up there. Sakura had not been training for so long to get stronger to the point where she would have overcome her. However, with the use of Genjutsu, Sakura was able to wound her and hurt her, which pissed her off, so she ended up going full force. Lightning mixed with water caused Sakura to suffer tremendous pain from attacks, as right now her left arm was burned and it pained every time she moved it. However, she could still cast Genjutsus, the few that she learned from her sensei. As for Hasami, she ripped out the kunai that was able to hit her while she was under that damn Genjutsu. As a kunai had stabbed her right in the leg and she was bleeding, she couldn't believe that a small child was able to do her like this. That angered her. She started to whip after Sakura. Sakura screamed out in pain as she was sent sailing, only for Hinata to catch her. As she steadied her. "Are you alright?" Hinata asked. "Not doing so good," Sakura said, "but I can still keep up." Hinata looked forward towards the woman who had a smirk on her face as she slapped the whip on the ground. "So another kiddie want to play with me, huh? Well then, why don't you come and have some fun?" Hinata could tell with her eyes that this woman was a lot stronger than the one that she faced, at least 2 times. She prepared herself. "Long range," she said to Sakura, who instantly understood. Their 2 months of cooperation had got them to a level where they could understand each other from a few words, something that Kurenai stressed tremendously. However, before they could fight, there was an explosion of power, stopping all of their battles as they turned their head toward the source. Meanwhile, below, at the center of the tree base, Suyin was bursting with power, a tremendous boost, rising his powers to unbelievable level. Over towards the ground, lying in a puddle of his own blood, as his left arm was badly wounded, was none other than Shibuki. Shibuki did not lose. In fact, he fought Suyin everything that he got. But Suyin was still just so much stronger. Suyin had threatened to kill the remainder of the hostages that he had. He had no choice. He had no choice but to make a deal with him to free the hostages, and he would give him what he wanted, so he could take it and go. But Suyin was not a man of his word. The moment he got what he wanted, he attacked Shibuki. telling him that he did not deserve the title that was bestowed upon him. A brutal water bullet slammed in Shibuki's head as he crashed into the wall. He was knocked unconscious. Shibuki allowed the hostages time to leave, so the place was empty. Well, well, well. What do we have here? A voice said, causing Suyin to turn, as he looked toward the child that made him laugh. This is the worst, worst time in your life to ever come somewhere where you're not needed, boy. I suggest you run away, screaming before I decide to get rid of you, just like how I'm gonna get rid of him. So you think you're stronger, better than everyone now, because you drink some water. He flexed his power as the water below him exploded outwards. He appeared in front of Naruto in a burst of speed. I warned you, he said, as he brought his hand to take Naruto's head off, only for his hand to phase right through Naruto. He blinked in shock. Was that an after image? Well, isn't someone being a bit cocky? He blinked once again as he heard the voice behind him. But this is good, after all. It's been a long time since I stretched my muscles against someone as strong as you. Bandit is great and all, but this is the fun part. He swung behind him. However, Naruto leaned over, dodging his fists. The moment he turned, a boot slammed into his face. He was sent sailing as he skipped across the water. He picked himself up back though. How are you doing this? Who the hell are you? As Naruto's body was cloaked in slime before it fully take over. Oh, me? I am the eminence in shadow, said Naruto with a grin. And I've come for you, as a blade materialized in his hand. As he pointed towards Suyin, who snarled, You little shit, if you think that you're gonna be the winner here, you're sadly mistaken, he raged. Power exploded out of him, shaking the entire underground sector. As Naruto merely grinned. This was fun. As the both of them blur forward. But guys, to be and subscribe right here. If you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.